So, good morning to you all, and welcome to this particular video lecture. What we have here is nothing but stacks. So, today we are going to start a new topic here in this particular thing. What we basically call it as stacks. It's a very easy concept. So, in this particular unit, in the third unit, you'll be having some two different concepts here. One is something we usually call it as stacks, and another is something we usually call it as queues. These are very easy topics. What we have. Okay, these are based upon the natural phenomena, whatever we use in our practical world. So the same concept, they actually worked on that. They have studied that particular concept, and then based on that, they have actually developed this particular concept in your data structure, something called as stacks and queues. So in today's session and in the coming 2 or 3 sessions, we'll be discussing related to something, something related to this particular concept called as stack. So what we are going to discuss here is nothing but what do you mean by stack exactly here in this particular concept, and apart from that, how stacks are actually implemented in our systems, I mean operating system. Followed with that, we'll see what are the different operations we can present this particular stacks, how we can represent, what are the different operations we can make on this particular stacks that we are going to. So those are very easy, and the program is also very easy. And apart from that, we will be discussing about something called as the applications of stacks we are going to discuss. So that we'll be discussing in the coming sessions, not now. So here in the applications, we'll discuss how we can use this particular concept called as stacks in order to apply for different applications that we are going to see. So here we will be seeing a lot of applications here, some 4 or 5 different type of programs we are going to see here, and based on that, we'll see how these particular stacks are implemented. Apart from that, we will also be seeing the implementation of stacks, how the stacks are basically represented here. Okay, so here in this particular concept, we can implement stacks either two ways, something related to arrays, or we can implement something called as linked list. So I think in the second unit, we already discussed about linked list, right? Linked list concept. So here, that is the reason why they have given the second unit for the second unit is a linked list, because after that in this stacks, we can represent stacks either using arrays here that you might be familiar with because it is already computed in your C language. And same way, we will be using linked list. So you can represent either statically or dynamically this particular stack. If you want to represent statically, you have to use something called as arrays. But if you want to implement them dynamically, you are going to use something called as linked list. So today's session is all about this particular concept called as stack. Okay, so without wasting time, let's go ahead with this. So coming to the content here. So if you ask me about the content, so first thing what we are going to discuss here is the introduction part, whatever is there. So what exactly Stag is meant for? What are the different examples we can use in Stag? What are the practical examples we have? Some we will be discussing it. Then what is the necessity of having this particular concept in data structures? What is the necessity to have this particular stack concept in data structures that we will see? And then we have something called insertion and deletion. How insertion and deletion is done in Stack, I will show you pictographically here. We're using pictographical representation, and then we'll be going ahead for array representation of a stack. So here I'm going to discuss only array representation. In the coming sessions, we'll discuss about linked list representation of a stack. So how stacks are implemented using linked list. But in this today's session, we'll be only discussing about array representation. It's a very small functioning of program what we have. Very easy it is. Then what are the different operations we can perform? Well, unlike the operation that we performed in linked list, we don't have many operations that we need to perform here. Hardly we have three here: push, pop, and peek. So let's see them one by one in the coming slide so that you people can understand very easily. So first thing is all about your stack. What do you mean by stack? Well, basically, I can say that it is a linear data structure. Okay. So system got somewhat hanged here. Sorry for the inconvenience. Yeah. So what do you mean by stack here is basically you people can say it is a linear data structure. Remember, from the first unit, whatever we have discussed till now, everything is a linear data structure. Means you people are storing them linear one after another. Okay, when you will be calling actually data structures, if you ask me here, so data structures we can represent using in a linear fashion, or we can represent them in a non-linear fashion. If you remember the first unit when we were discussing the introduction part, and the linear is the one where we discuss something related to arrays. We said what are the arrays? I mean, what are the examples that comes under linear, or what are the topics that comes under linear data structure is arrays. Then we discussed about linked list, and here comes stacks, queues. All these comes under linear. But when I talk about nonlinear data structure here, what are the different nonlinear data structures we have here is nothing but trees. and then we have something called as graphs. This is nothing but your fourth unit, and this is your fifth unit, I guess, or vice versa, whatever it might be. So this will be coming. So these two comes under non-linear data structure. So remember, whatever we are discussing till now related to stacks and queue till here, everything we have discussed related to linear data structure. Okay, when you talk about non-linear data structures, that comes under trees and graphs. That is what used for representing the non-linear data structures. So that's the reason stack is nothing but it is a linear data structures, and it uses a common principle here. That principle is very, very simple. What is the principle here is that the whatever the elements we want to store in this particular stack, we are going to add it and remove it only from one particular end. Okay, we have only one opening here from where we will be inserting the data and from where we'll be deleting it the data, and that one position or the opening is what we basically call it as top. Okay, we represent that with a variable called as tab. This is the position from where you people can either insert the elements or either you can delete that particular element. This is the only way how this is something like a door. Okay, and suppose there is a single room, and within that room the students are sitting, and there is only a single door for that particular room. So if anyone want to get inserted into it and anyone wants to come out of it, they have to come out of from that particular door. Same way here we have that particular concept here is tough. Okay, now coming to the examples related to that, he's giving you something like a piles of plates where one place. So piles of plate are nothing but these are group of plates that have been placed. Suppose you people generally go for some kind of what we call parties, like maybe it is a wedding, maybe it is a wedding event, some kind of event you're going, like maybe someone's birthday, someone's marriage ceremony, or someone's marriage or wedding is taking place. So when you go and have your food, okay, suppose during dinner time, suppose you are going for a function, whenever you wanted to go and have your dinner, what you're going to do, you will take up a plate, right? You know that onto the table you'll be having some set of plates, some 50-60 plates will be there one after another. And as one customer is, one guest is coming, they are taking up the plate. How they will take the plate? Can anyone take the plate from the bottom? There are some piles of plates are there. Can anyone take from the last one? No, it's not possible, right? They will take only the one which is on top, which is present onto the top. So that is what we call it as piles of plates here. You can see the example of this. See, this is a way I guess you people can see in your events, what are the functions you conduct. This is the way how the plates are actually arranged. So whenever a user is coming, some new user is coming to have it some, his supper or dinner, he will take up this particular plate first. Then the another person will come, he will try to take this. Same way, if you want to place new plates, suppose the plates are getting reduced. So you want to place new plates, where you will be placing that particular plates? You will be placing on top of it, isn't it? So here you will be placing one more plate, and one more here, one more here. And whenever you want to take a particular plate, you will be taking one after another from the top. That is he is talking about here in particular variable called as top. What you people have to keep in mind when you come across to this particular thing. Top is a we have to keep in mind here. If you want to delete a particular element from a stack, or you want to insert a particular element, you can do it from this particular position called as stop. That is what he means to say in this particular thing. First example is piles of plates. You can see here there are some set of plates. This is what we basically call it as this one is what we basically call it as piles of plate. Piles of plate means there are some set of plates are there which are arranged one after another. If anyone want to take a plate, they have to take this plate first. But you know that this is the first plate I have placed it. This is the last plate which we placed it. But still, whenever user want to take, he will take the last plate first. And the first place what we have inserted here, this one, this will be taken in the last. Same way, if you want to insert any plate, you want to place any plate, you will be placing onto the top of this particular plate. That is what he's saying in this particular scenario. Now here, the best, if you ask me about practical example related to it, stack on browser. As I told you, opened a YouTube channel, right? I have opened one particular YouTube, and in that I have opened 2 to 3 window. Three different type of videos. Now, if I want to move to the next video, I can just simply click on that arrow button, which is present on the top left. isn't it? If I want to go to the previous video, what I have to do? I have to press the previous button of which is present. I mean, previous arrow button, which is present onto the top left, isn't it? So in that way, we are exactly doing it up. So this is an example related to this particular stack. Undo and redo stack in Excel or Word. In Word, you people are doing redo operation and undo operation. That is also comes under stack. So what about undo operation? Whatever you have done a mistake, you want to just go one step backward direction. So whichever you did lastly the modification, that will be removed here. That is what we call it as undo or redo stack in a Excel or Word. So there also we use it. Now, if you ask me practical, real sense where naturally we use it, just a small example here, eating biscuits. Suppose you people are having a new biscuit packet and you're feeling very hungry and want to eat it. So what you people are going to do? Yeah, people will be if I ask anyone, so what are you people exactly going to do? You will remove on one side of the cover, right? A biscuit packet consists of two sides. The cover is on two sides, isn't it? So if you ask me here, the biscuit packet, suppose this is what the biscuit packet look like. Okay, let just assume like that. I'm not sure about it, and I'm not good in drawing also. So let us suppose that this is a biscuit packet. What do you have? Okay, it doesn't look much like that. Just for representation. Okay, this is a Mary biscuit or something like that. You can see Mary biscuit packet. You want to eat this particular new biscuit packet. So what are you going to do? Either you will remove from this side or you will be removing from this side. From is there anyone who will be removing from both the directions? I don't find, right. No one will remove from both direction. Only from the one side we will be tear it up, and one by one the biscuits are arranged like this. So what you will be doing it one by one. So whichever is present here on the top, you will be taking that element for eating. And the next element, what is that you will be eating. Now let us suppose within this you want to insert the biscuits. Then how you're going to insert? The first biscuit means, I mean, when you are inserting the biscuit, you'll be inserting from this direction. Means this is the only way how you can get the biscuits, and this is the only way how you people can insert the biscuits into this particular packet, because that is the only way how we can either insert an element or delete an element. Same thing is a concept related to your stack. So this is what actually happens in this particular thing. Okay, so this is how exactly this particular stack works. Remember one thing, stack will be having only one end position. Okay, so it will be having only a one end position, and from where either we can insert the element or we can delete the element, and that is what we call it with the variable called as here stop. That is what you have to keep in mind. Using the stop only you will be inserting an element, and using the stop only you will be deleting a particular element. So stepping ahead, so based upon that, as I told you that the last element whichever we are inserting, if you see here, this is the first plate, this is the second plate, third plate, fourth, fifth, and sixth plate. Now, as I told you, this is the last place. Assume that there are only 6 plates I am having right now. Now, if any user is coming up, he will take up which particular plate? The sixth plate is the one he is going to take first. Then the fifth plate will be taken by the next user. Then the next user will take the fourth plate, next third plate, second plate, and one. That is why this particular stack is called as LIFO. Okay, or you can also call it as FILO. LIFO in the sense last in, first out. Now, if you see here, the first plate is this one, which we have inserted first, but this is the last place which the user is going to access it. That's why it is called that last in, first out. So if you see here, the sixth plate is the last plate we have inserted in the last, but this is the first plate that has been accessed by the user. That's why it is called last in, first out. And if you consider this one first plate, then we call it as filo. So first plate that we have inserted here, this will be the last plate that will be taken up by the customer, whoever is going to have their dinner or lunch or whatever it might be. Okay, so that's why this particular stack is also called as LIFO, last in, first out. So whichever element you people are inserting in the last, that will be the first element that will be taken out first. And same way we can call it as filo also. Means what does that mean is whichever element you are inserting in the beginning, that is on the first place, that will be the last element that will be removed from that particular stack. So remember clearly. Okay, so stack is what we call it as LIFO, or I mean what we call LIFO or filo. Now the question here is, what is the necessity of having this particular concept in our computer science? Main thing is function calls, because we are using many different type of functions calls, like you people might have seen. isn't it? Have you seen it or not? In linked list, we have created a list of menu, and from that menu, one by one, we were calling that function. Suppose if we want to insert an element in the beginning, what did you do? You have called that particular function called as insert underscore beginning, isn't it? And if you want to insert the element in the last, insert underscore last. If you want to delete an element from the linked list in the beginning, I mean delete the first element, so insert, I mean delete underscore beginning. If you want to delete the last element, you people have written so many different functions here. And when you people are working with functions, stacks plays a very, very important role in this particular concept. Remember that. Okay, so let me show you an example so that you people can understand. Assume that we are executing a function A. If you see here, you people are executing a function A. Suddenly within, okay, when you're executing this particular function A, within this, what happens? You have another function. You're calling another function called as B from A. Executed, this particular function is getting executed. Within this particular function B, you are having another function called as C. And this function in turn is calling another function. You can see that there is a chain of functions. Okay, so let me explain here with the help of a new page. See here, let us suppose I am having a function A. Okay, this is a function. And within this, I am having some statements. And here, after some statements, I am calling function B. And again, I have some statements. I am closing it. Then I have something called as function B. Now, this will consist of the statements that need to be executed. And in turn, this particular function is calling function C. Okay, and after that, again, you are having some statements. Now, if you talk about here, this particular thing, let me take a stack. As I told you, stack is nothing but generally can be represented using arrays and all. So this is your stack. And let us suppose in this, I'm having some empty stacks are available here. Okay, I'll take this one. So first, if you take here, this is 0, index 1, 2, 3. So this is an index. Okay, this is an index I'm representing. And this is a stack. Assume that this is a one kind of an array here. Now, what is saying exactly here is that let us suppose this particular function you have called for executing. Now, when you call this function, some statements are here that will be executed here. Then immediately you're calling this particular function. Now, what will happen here? The system control will jump from this particular function wherever it is, where it is here. So it is not going to execute the statements after that particular statement. It will directly jump to this particular function. Then what about the remaining statements that are present in function A? That has to be executed it. So executed it, yes. For that purpose, this particular function will be stored in a stack. So as I told you, we'll be having something called as a variable top. Top is the one which from where we will be inserting and deleting it. Now I want to insert this particular function A here in this particular location. Why? Because B is executing. So that's why I made, because there are some statements that need to be executed later when B finishes up. So I'm keeping that in a stack. That which function? A function. So top equal to 0 is the address. So top is a variable which consists of the index where we have stored a particular data element. Indirectly, he's saying that top is the one which consists of the address where we are going to store the data elements. So here I'm storing the function here A. Now function B is executing now. The system control has transferred to this particular function. Now there are some statements are there. These are getting executed. Okay, these are getting executed. Suddenly now what happened? Function C. So in this particular, this function is calling function C. So again, it will jump to a function C wherever you people have written. So what about the remaining statements that are present in function B? They has to be executed yet. So what happens here? Now the control has been shifted to this particular location. It will be executing this particular statement. Now when this is executing this statement, this function B has to wait. So what I'm going to do is I'll increment this top, and top will be coming to this particular position. And here I will be storing B function. Sorry, this is a B function which I am storing on the top of this particular step. And right now the top is pointing to which particular location here? Top equal to 1. This is the way it is executing it. Now let's suppose this particular function C has completed executing. Now the control again comes back to which particular statement? After function C, whatever the statement is there here in this particular means, at when it is coming back to B, the system will remove this particular function from the stack. That is what we call it as popping it up. Okay, we will be popping it up. So first we do what we insert. Insertion is what we call it as push, and deleting is what we call it as pop. So I have removed it. Why? Now the controller has come to function B and it is executing the remaining statements here. What are left with respect to function C? Once it is completed, what it will do? It will again come back to function A. So when it is coming to function A, we will be removing this from the stack. We will remove that particular function from the stack, and whatever the statements are there after function B, that will be executed. So these statements will be executed and your task is completed. Okay, this is the reason why we exactly use tag. So I think you people might be getting some idea now. So within the C programming, you might have written many different programs using something called as functions, right? So you might have wondered that when you're writing functions and within a function, if you're calling another function, then how this particular functions are stored is nothing but using stack. So internally operating system stores it using this particular stack concept. Okay, so this is a way how exactly these functions are exactly stored. Let me show you now what we call diagrammatically. Okay, by the help of small animation kind of thing. So function calls here. So first thing is A is calling. So first we are executing function A. Suddenly function A called function B. So what happens here now? Function B is getting executed. Since function B is getting executed, I have stored the function A into the array. Okay, stack array. This is what we call it as a stack array. This is what we call it as stack, where insertion and deletion can be done using a variable called as tab, and only from this particular location we can remove it, and it is called at what you people can remove first in last out, filo, or last in first out. If you see here, this is the first function. A is the first function we have inserted, then this is the last function which will be removed. I will show you animatedly. Now what happened? Function B is getting executed. Now function B is calling function C. Now, whatever the statements are there in function C, those are getting executed. Then what about function B? I'll be storing into the stack here. See here. You can see here clearly function B has been stored into the stack. Why? Now function C is actually getting executed. So now function C has called another function called as D. Means now we are executing the statements that are present in this particular function D. Then what about function C now? So function C has to be stored on the stack, and you can see the top is increasing. Have you seen this? Initially top was, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 index. Initially top was at 0. Later on, when another function came, top has been incremented to 1. Now top is representing at location something called as 2 here. Okay, you people, I think you people are getting it. Now function D completed totally executing it. Now what we had to do, we need to call something called as function. I mean, function D has completed. Now we have to return back to function C, which is the one we call it as a calling function. Okay, function C is a calling function and function D is the called function. Called function has completed its execution. We are going back to the calling function. What is the function here? Function C. So when we will start executing the statements that are present, when we will start executing the statements that are present in C, first thing what we had to do is we had to remove that particular thing from that particular stack. And that is what I did. You can see here, this is the last function which we have inserted, and this is the first function we have removed it. Now whatever the statements are there in function C are completed. Now it is returning back to which statement? Now function B. Now function B will be removed from the stack, and whatever the functions we have in B, I mean the statements are there in B, that will be executed. And finally what happens? This particular function will be removed. Finally stack will be empty. Okay, so this is a way how exactly your stacks are going to be implemented, or how they exactly work on. That is what I can say the best part of this particular stacks. And if I remember, if you people remember this, I already told you that whenever I open a new application, that will be inserted in the beginning. How that particular thing is getting inserted here is nothing but based upon stacks. They are using linked list concept, using stacks in order to store these applications, whatever you people are opening in a real-time scenario. Now the same thing, whatever I have shown you, this is with respect to function I have shown you. Now the same thing I'm going to show you using something called as inserting an element, so that it becomes easy for you people. So if you see here, yeah, this is the initial stack I'm taking, which consists of 5. So initially 5 elements I can store in the stack. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is an array representation. Initially stack is empty. What does that mean? Till now there are no elements that are need to be placed in this particular stack. So as I told you that this particular stack can be accessed using a variable called as top. Okay, using this particular variable only people can either insert an element or you can delete a particular element. So initially top is equal to -1. Why -1? Because there are no elements that need to be inserted right now in the beginning. So top is actually pointing to -1, and that indicates that the stack is empty. The -1 is nothing but null. Okay, so you people can now understand the condition. If top equal to null, that means what do you mean? What do you mean by that? Top equal to null? Null is nothing but -1. So if top is equal to -1, this indicate, what does that indicate? Stack is empty. Stack is empty. Okay, please keep in mind this is a formula, means this is a logic which we need to use. If top is equal to -1, that means the stack is empty. There are no elements present in the stack. Now another condition that we have one more variable, max. Max indicates the size of this particular stack. And max, how we represent, what is the total number of elements we can store in this particular stack now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements. So max is equal to 5. But when you're comparing with top, you should compare if top is equal to not max, max -1. Remember that. I think you people are familiar why we are using max -1, because in this array representation, the index initially starts with 0, isn't it? So max -1, how much? 5 minus 1. So that is equal to 4. And this is the highest element number index, whatever we are having. So that's why whenever you're comparing, you should compare top equal to max -1. And if this condition is true, what does this means? Stack is full. Stack is full, isn't it? If top initially top is present here, let us suppose, and we are having, these are the empty spaces. As one element is getting added, the top will be getting incremented like this. Suppose 1, 2. Now I added 3 here, so top will come here. So 4 will be added, top will be coming to this particular location. 5, I have added it. Finally, this is done. Now where the top is exactly pointing in this particular location, if you see, top is present here. So if top is equal to 4, that means stack is full. So if you want to insert another element here, it's not possible. What is the situation? We call it as overflow. I think you people remember this overflow, right? If you want to insert another element, number 6 here, can you insert it? It's not possible because all the element, all the stack, the entire stack is full here. So I can't insert a new element into this particular stack. So that is what I will say, that is an overflow condition. Same way, when you're trying to delete the elements, let us suppose first I'm going to delete the element from this tag. What is the first element I can delete here? As I told you that we can do insertion and deletion from the top. If you see here, top is representing this element. So this is the first element which will be replaced here, which will be deleted. That is 5. Now top will be pointing to this particular location. Top has come up to this particular location. And the next element what I can delete here, that is number 4. Now top will be pointing to which particular location here? Top will be coming here. Okay, so now what happens again? If you want to delete another element, I can delete only. Remember, you can't delete in between numbers because there is only one opening and closing, that is top. So you can either delete or insert for using this particular variable top. Now I want to delete number 2. So top will be again decremented. Now top will be coming to this particular location. Finally, if I remove this one also, then top is equal to -1. And now if you are trying to delete an element, so that means tag is empty. You're trying to delete element. Then what are the condition I have to give here? I have to call underflow. Why underflow? Because there are no elements that are present here to delete. And you're trying to delete elements from this particular empty stack. How is it possible? So you have to simply say that you are underflowing. There are no elements here. You can't delete them. This is what how exactly people had to work on this particular thing. Okay. So now I will explain it how exactly it works. First thing, empty stack. Now let us suppose I want to insert an element 10. So if you see here, top first thing what we had to do, top is equal to -1. So first thing what you have to do is you have to increment top plus plus. So top will be equal to now pointing to 0, means this particular location. You can see a top equal to 0 and I have inserted the element 10. Now, if I want to insert a 20 here, I want to insert 20 in this particular position. So what I have to do first? Top plus plus. Now, initially top is at 0. When you do top plus plus, the value of this particular thing will be top equal to 1. Means it will come here. Now you can simply insert the value 20 here. See here, you can see. Yeah, you can see. Yeah, have you seen this? The top is representing here. Top is equal to how much here? Top is equal to 1 and insert. Now if you want to insert 30, first you have to increment top. So top will be coming to this particular location, that is 2, index number 2. And now you can insert 30 here. Suppose I want to insert 40 here, first top should be incremented. So top will be pointing to what? Incrementing means one number incrementing. So top equal to 3, index 3. So I will be inserting here 40. Now again I am inserting top equal to 4. The value what I'm going to insert here is 50. Okay, this is the way, means you can insert or delete using only one variable here. That variable is top. Now if you see here, what is the last element which has been inserted in this particular array? You can say 50 is the last element we have inserted, but when I'm deleting the elements from the stack, 50 will be the first element that will be deleted. How? So that we will see now. Let me erase it up so that I will show you how exactly it is working here in the next slide. I want to delete now. You can see here 30. Actually, initially it was 30 right here. And top is equal to 3. So I have deleted top. So when I am deleting it, what I have to do first? I have to first delete this element. Then I have to decrement top minus minus. Then automatically top will be pointing to the first position what you people are seeing. Now let us suppose I want to delete 20 now. So what I have to do first? First I have to delete this element. After deleting this element, I have to decrement top. Then top will be pointing to this particular index, that is number 0. So that I will show you here. See, I have removed it. I have removed element 20. So after removing the 20 element, I have decremented top. Now top is pointing to the number 0, index 0, which consists of data element 10. Now again, if I wanted to delete that particular number 10, what I have to do first? I have to first delete this number and then I have to decrement this particular top. And remember, when I'm decrementing this particular top, now top will be equal to how much? Minus 1. That indicates that there are no elements that are present in this particular stack. You see, did you see this? I have removed top, I mean element from this particular top equal to 0. Now then I decremented top. Then what happened here? Top is equal to minus 1. So element is deleted and top is equal to minus 1, means there doesn't exist any other element in this particular array. Now if you try to delete an element from this empty stack, you will simply say that it is a underflow condition. Underflow means no elements are present and you're trying to delete it. So that is what we call underflow. What do you mean by overflow? The stack is full and you're trying to insert a new element and there is no space in the stack. Then that is what we call it as stack is full. Now, how can we implement this particular array here? This particular, stacks can be implemented here. There are two ways how we can implement stacks here. So either we can implement using static implementation or dynamic. Okay, static implementation means we are going to use arrays. So whatever the diagrams I have shown you till now, those are static implementation, that is using arrays. And the next one, what we have is something called as dynamic implementation, that is done using linked lists. Okay, so let's see how using arrays we are going to perform the operation. So you know that stacks are nothing but they are represented as a linear array here in this particular thing. So every stack will have a variable called as top. As I told you that whichever the stack you people are creating, definitely there will be a variable called as top. And this is the one which is used to store the address, and this is the one which is used for deleting an element or inserting a particular element. So top is most important here, remember that. And so as I told you that from where we can insert or delete an element is nothing but top. That is what he's saying here. Now, apart from that, we have another variable. This also I have explained you, max. Okay, so it will store the maximum number of elements in that particular struct. And how we are going to represent that is max minus 1. Now, this is the condition which I have shown you using if statement. If top is equal to null, what does that mean? There is no elements present in the stack, isn't it? Top equal to null means there are no element. Top equal to minus 1, that indicates. So no elements are present in the stack. If people can say that simply it is a empty. But if top is equal to max minus 1, that indicates that the stack is particularly full. Now this is an example he has taken here. You can see here the total, I can store total 10 elements in this particular stack. I have defined a stack st in which I can store total 10 elements. So in the stack, this is using arrays. I'm doing it. This is an array and this is I'm representing using st. Now, since the index starts from 0, what is our last element we have here is 9. That's why we are calling it as max minus 1. I can store 10 elements. So n is equal to 10. Max minus 1. 10 minus 1 is equal to 9. So 0 to 9. This is a way how you people have to remember. So now you people can see if I want to insert an element here, same like what I have shown you in the previous slide. If I want to insert a particular element here in this particular case, then what I have to do first? What did I tell you? Top is right now pointing to the location 4. So I want to insert here in this particular location. What I have to do? Top equal to top plus 1 or top plus plus. You can either use top equal to top plus 1 or top plus plus. Now the top will be pointing to this particular location. Now you people can add whatever the values you wanted to add in this. If you want to place in the sixth location, again top plus plus, then you will be inserting that value. How to insert it, I'll tell you, don't worry. So here you'll be inserting it, then top plus plus, again you'll be coming to this, and this is the way how you people are going to perform the operation. So I hope you people are getting it. It's a very simple topic what we have. So same. Okay, here what I want to say that you people can either represent like this. I mean, horizontally you can replace it, or you people can also replace using vertical. That's up to you how you want to place the presentation. Concept should be clear. You can represent in any way, either horizontally or vertically. That's up to you. But it should be perfectly clear and sound. Then only people can perform it. Okay. So coming to the operations here, the most important part and most easiest part what we have here is nothing but stack has three basic operation. Push. Push is nothing but adding an element to the top of the stack. So if you want to insert any element, you're going to call the function called as push. And next is pop. Pop is nothing but removing an element from the top of a stack. So if you want to remove any element from a particular stack, you can use this particular operation called as pop. And then we have something called as peek. Now, this is the one which will return the value of the topmost element, means topmost element whichever is there, that information it is going to perform here in this particular case. Okay, so okay, for that I wanted to tell you peek is nothing but it returns the value of the topmost element. So I wanted to show you the previous slide. If you see here, if I am applying peek operation onto this particular function, what is the output I'm going to get is the topmost element, whatever is present, that will be displayed. And you know that topmost element will be present with the variable where top is pointing. So right now top is pointing to this particular location. So peek will give you the address A, B, C, D, E, and it will not delete this element. Okay. Peek will not delete this element. Whichever the element is present on the top of the list, that will be displayed. If you take this this representation, what if we are calling peek operation on this particular array, what is the output it is going to give you is 10, because whatever the value is present in the topmost array, that will be displayed. Here we have only one element, so that element will be displayed. Suppose there is 20 is here, then top is presenting here, then you will be getting the output as 20, not as 10, because top is representing to the topmost element, that is 20. So this way it is exactly going to function in this particular thing. So let's see how your insertion function is going to work. So push operation, push is what we call it as inserting. So push operation is nothing but to insert an element into the stack. So as I told you, the element will be inserted onto the top of the stack. So you have to first check the condition whenever you're applying this particular push operation. What is that? If top is equal to max minus 1 or not. If it is, that means stack is full. You cannot insert the element. You have to display that it is an overflow condition. You have to display the message saying that it is overflowing. Now let us suppose tag equal to, suppose you can see here top equal to 4, and this particular top consists of the value something called as 5. Now I want to insert new one. So first I will check whether top is equal to max minus 1. So when I'll increment, what is top here? 4, isn't it? So I'll increment top here 5. Is 5 equal to max minus 1 is nothing but 9. Is it equal to this? No. Condition failed means we have still spaces available to insert the element. Then I will insert the element in this particular thing. You can see here top is incremented. Now you can see since the element top is equal to 6 now 5, and the value that is increment placed here is 6. Now top is pointing to this. Now again, if I want to insert another element here, first I'll check the condition. 6 is equal to 9. No, condition fails. 6 is not equal to 9, isn't it? Top is how much top we are having? 5. Sorry, 5 equal to 9. So 5 is not equal to 9, condition fails. We are having some empty slots here. What I will do, top plus plus. So 5 will become 6. So it will come to this particular location. Now I will add this particular element 7. Okay. Next time again, if you want to insert another element, again check. 6 is equal to 9. Condition failed. So I will be incrementing top plus plus. Now top will be representing as 7. So this will be coming to this. And here I will insert the value 8. This is the way how exactly your functions are going to work. Okay, I will explain with just a minute. So that is what I'm going to show here. Algorithm, very simple algorithm. It's not like linked list, very simple. You can see hardly 4 lines. That's it. Your push operation is completed. If you see here, what did I told you? First, we have to do top equal to max minus 1. You have to find it out. So if it is equal to, you people have to simply display overflow function. If not, increment top equal to top plus 1. Simply stack of top equal to value, whichever you want to insert it. Done. Your task is completed. And this is a C program for inserting it. Void push in test is nothing but this is the stack which I'm taking, array. What is the array? Initially, we used to use array like a, variable a. So I have used here variable something called as st, so that for you people can understand we are implementing as a stack. Okay, and what is that? Stack equal top equal to max minus 1. Stack is overflowing. Else top plus plus stack of top equal to value. Same way we can do it for deletion operation also. Let me show you. So this is example for that. This we will see there. So operation, the next operation what we can perform here is nothing but pop operation. Pop is also same way we are going to perform here in this particular thing. This is the logic for that. And when you're popping it up, you know that underflow condition we need to check up here in this particular thing. So if you see here, if int pop, int st, int value, if top is equal to minus 1, what does that indicates? That there are no elements that are present here. Simply stack underflow. Else value equal to st of top. So you're removing the element from the topmost position and you're storing into a variable called as value. Then you're decrementing top. Return that particular value. That value will be displayed. Okay. So this is a way how exactly this particular pop function works. And if you ask me related to peek operation, this is much more easier. First only condition what you're going to check here is if top is equal to null or not. If it is, means no elements are present here. But in case it is condition fails, definitely there will be element. Now this is a logic for this algorithm and a C program code. You can see if top is equal to null, stack is empty. Else return stack of tab. So whatever the element is present onto the top, that will be displayed. So number 5 will be displayed here. So what is the C code here? Same int peek. I'm taking the array here. If top is equal to minus 1, simply you will be displaying stack is empty. Return minus 1. Why we are returning minus 1 here? You can see here I have used an integer variable. So when you're simply printing the statement, you don't have anything to return. So I'm simply returning minus 1 because you know that top equal to minus 1 means stack is empty. So that's the reason I'm not returning 0. I'm returning here minus 1. Else in case this condition fails, there are elements present in this. So whichever the element is present on the top in this particular array st, you will be displaying it. This is an array st. So st of top means that is number 4. So it will display the output as 5. Okay. So st of 4 you're returning. So in this st of 4, what is the value we have? 5. This is what you people are going to display on that particular thing. So these are the 3 operations we have that we can perform. With this, your total thing is completed. And if you want to display the elements that are present in this, okay, fine. I will show this using an example here. Actually, I have taken this example to show you. Just give me some 5 to 6 minutes. I'll complete it. Okay. Now this is a stack st. Please look at concentrate one by one. I'm going to explain it. Now initial index is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So initially, what is the value of top? You people know top is equal to minus 1. There are no elements present here. This is the array I'm declaring stack, which consists of 5 elements. So that means n equal to 5. What is the maximum we have here? Max equal to n minus 1. That is 4. So this is your max. So initially top is equal to minus 1. Now I want to push a first element. Suppose I want to push the number 1 into this particular location. So see here, int st. So this is an array. Value. What is the value here? Value equal to 1. I want to insert it. Now first I will check the condition if top is equal to max minus 1. So what is max minus 1 here? I got 4. I'm checking if top equal to 4. So what is top here? Initially minus 1. Is minus 1 equal to 4? No, condition fail means we are having empty slots. It is not overflowing. So what I have to do? I'll simply skip the if statement, come to the else part. So what I'm doing here, top plus plus. What do you mean by top plus plus? You are incrementing. So top plus plus means this minus 1 will be replaced with which value? You are incrementing by plus 1. So minus 1 plus 1. So minus 1 plus 1 means how much you're going to get? 0. Top equal to 0. Now top has come to this particular position. Top. Now what I have to do? St of top. So st is nothing but this is an array. St and top. Top is right now pointing to the variable 0. St of 0 equal to value. What is the value I want to insert here? 1. So that will be inserted at this particular location. I hope you people got it. Isn't it? It's very, very easy. Again, I want to insert. Oh, sorry, I deleted that. So again, I inserted. Now top is at which particular position? See here, top equal to how much? 0. So this part is done. I want to insert another value now. Value equal to 2. I want to insert it. Same condition. Top equal to max minus 1 or not. I am going to check. What is the value of top this time? 0, not minus 1. 0 equal to max minus 1. That is how much? Max is how much? 5. 5 minus 1 is 4. Is 0 equal to 4? Condition failed. Come to the else part. Top plus plus. This time top plus plus means 0 plus 1. Incrementing by 1. So top is equal to how much? 1. So this time top becomes 1. What does that mean? So top has jumped to the location here. Top equal to 1. Now what I'm doing? I'm storing the value. How to store it? St of top. What is the value of top now? 1. So I'm going to replace this particular 0 with 1 equal to value. What is the value I'm having here? 2. So this will be 2. So I'm inserting 2. This is the way how you people are going to do. Did you see it? Within 3 lines, you are able to simply insert the values. Now I want to do the pop operation here. So how to do the pop operation here? Same. So as I told you, now if I ask you pop operation when you're performing, what is the element will be deleted here? First element will be number 2, not 1. Even though I inserted the number 1 as a first element, but as we know that what we call this particular stack generally follows first FIFO, philo, first in, last out, last in, first out concept. So whichever we inserted last, the number 2, that will be deleted first. So when you're calling pop here, int value, now first here what we have to check is top is equal to minus 1 or not. Why we are checking minus 1? To know that whether the stack is empty or not. If it is empty and you're trying to delete the operation, then you have to call stack underflow, return minus 1. Okay, so else what we have to do? So if you see here, top equal to minus 1. Top is right now pointing to which location here? 1. Is 1 equal to minus 1? This time the condition failed. What I have to do? So I have to simply skip from here, come to the else part. Value equal to st of top. So what is the top pointing to which particular index? 1. So st of 1. So st of 1 consists of value here 2. So that 2 value I'm assigning to this particular value. So value equal to 2. And then what I have to do? Top minus minus. Top minus minus means top 1. So top is initially pointing to which number, which indices 1. So 1 minus 1 is how much? 0. So now top will be pointing to which particular, now this number is deleted. This particular number is deleted now because we have stored in the value. We have removed from stack and we stored into the variable called as top. Now we are decrementing top here. So finally what happens? Top is coming to the location 0 because 1 minus 1 is 0, decrementing. So top is pointing to this particular location. Now if you want to remove another element, simple, same way you're going to call this. Again you will be checking top equal to 0. Is 0 equal to minus 1? Condition fails. Come to the else part. Value equal to st of top. Top is pointing to 0. So st of top consists of value 1. So value is equal to, so what after that, top minus minus. Now this time top is equal to 1, I mean 0. So 0 minus 1 means minus 1. So again, I mean this time top is pointing, this time what happened, this particular element is removed and top is equal to minus 1. So top has been removed from this particular location and whatever the data is there, that is also deleted. Now again, if you try to delete this time, you call the pop operation. If you see a top equal to how much? Minus 1. So minus 1 equal to minus 1. This time the condition is true. Means there are no elements present in this particular stack, but you people are trying to delete that particular stack. How is it possible? You want to delete the element from the stack when the stack is empty. Not possible. This time this condition fails. This sorry, else part will not be executed, if part will be executed, this will be executed, and it will simply say that stack is underflow. You're trying to delete an element which doesn't exist, stack is empty, so there is no possibility of deleting an element. This is the way how exactly you're going to work. Okay, I hope you people have understood how exactly this particular function works. It is much more easier when compared to your linked list concept. Only 4 lines of code. Now if you talk about peak here, let us suppose 1 2 0 1 2 3 4. This is your stack. So in the stack, if top is equal to minus 1, if there is an element here, you can see where what is the element we have in the top? 2. Means top is pointing to indices 1. Top will be having all, remember top will consist of the address in the sense nothing but indices, index value, where we have stored the data element. Okay, so here top equal to minus 1. What is the value of top? We have here 1. 1 is equal to minus 1. Condition fails, stack is not empty, so you'll come to the else part. Return stack of top. So stack of top means st of top. Top is nothing but 1. What is the value present in st of 1 here? 2. So that 2 will be displayed here. This is the peak operation. In case there are no elements, it will print simply stack is empty. Now if you want to display the elements which are present here, how can we do it? So this is the last one. Just give me 2 more minutes so that we can complete this. So if you take void display here in this particular thing, how we are doing? First, we have to look at whether stack is empty or not when you are displaying it. Because if the stack is empty, how you are going to display? So here, if the stack is not empty, then you will be printing the values. How to print it? For I equal to top. Let's consider this. Let me add the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Means where is exactly top located now? Top is present at this particular position. Okay, top is equal to how much? Top is equal to 4. Let's see the for loop how it works. I equal to 4. And is 4 greater than 0 or equal to 0? Yes, condition satisfied. So what we have to do? I minus minus. So before doing that, we'll enter into it. We'll print the statement. What is that? St of I. What is the value of I? So st of 4. I'm printing it. What is the value I have in st of 4? 5. I'm printing it. Next line. This is for next line. So next element will be printed in the next line. Again, you will come back here. So what I have to do? Decrement the value. Now I will be decremented to 3. Is 3 greater than equal to 0? Condition satisfied. Simply print the statement st of I. I value is 3. So what is the value present in 3 here? 4. I am going to print the value 4. Next again decrement the value. I equal to 2. So st of 2 is equal to how much? What is the value present in the 2 here? 3. Printing the value. Next st of 1. I'll decrement the value. So it will be now finally st of 0. 0 is greater than equal to 0. So you will be printing the value 1. Now when again you are decrementing it, this time I is equal to how much? Minus 1. And minus 1 less the, I mean greater than equal to 0, condition fails. It will come out of it. So finally 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is been displayed. So whatever the last element we have placed here, that will be the first output we'll be getting. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But when you inserted it, you inserted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the way how you people are going to perform the stack operation using arrays. Very, very simple. Okay, so you people can use this function, apply them, and make and just start working on this so that it becomes easy for you people to understand. Very easy it is. Yeah, your stack program is completed. Same as I have shown you the linked program. Same way this is a stack program. If you club them together in a single program, void main, and in that you'll call these functions push, pop, peek, display using switch case, and then you perform it. Your task is completed. I will show you. Don't worry. I'll show you the program in the next session, how exactly this is done, even including linked list and stacks. Don't worry about it. These are the code. You people please follow this particular code, write it up, practice it. This is much more easier when compared to your linked list, because you can see hardly how many lines of code is there here. This is a single line of code. There are only 2 lines. And if you see here, 3 lines of code in order to delete an element. If you want to insert element, only 2 lines. And if you see here, hardly 3 lines, and here also hardly 3 lines are there. That's it. So it's very, very easy for you people to work on this. I request you people to please note down this particular what we call separately as a separate functions. Start working on it so that you people can understand how exactly it works. So this is all that we have for today's session. In the next session, I'll show you. I'll show you how array. I mean, this particular stack is represented using linked list. Once this is done, I will show you the programs using Dev C++, how it is executed, so that you people get a clear picture of how this particular functionality is working. So this is all for today's session we are having. Thank you.
Thank you,
So
sir.
yeah, thank you for watching.